The massive alien ships appeared without warning, their dark shapes blocking out the stars beyond Mars' orbit. On Earth, military bases worldwide erupted into action as radar systems and space telescopes captured the first images of the invasion fleet. The ships looked like giant black diamonds, their surfaces absorbing light rather than reflecting it. In the Global Defense Command Center deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral James Walker stood before the main display screen, his weathered face illuminated by the red warning lights. He had trained for this moment his entire career, but the reality of first contact still made his heart race. "Status report," he ordered, his voice steady despite the tension in the room. "Sir, we count over 300 vessels, ranging from carrier class to what appear to be destroyer-sized ships," reported Lieutenant Tom White from his station. "They're maintaining formation just beyond Mars' orbit." Walker nodded, studying the tactical display. Earth's defense fleet was ready. They had prepared for this possibility ever since they detected the first signs of alien civilizations 20 years ago. What the aliens didn't know was that humanity had been watching, learning, and building. "Open communications on all standard frequencies," Walker commanded. "Let's see what they want before we show our hand." The response came almost immediately. The main screen filled with the image of a tall, gray-skinned creature. Its 4 eyes blinked independently, and its mouth was filled with metallic teeth that gleamed under the ship's lights. "People of Earth," the alien spoke in perfect English, its voice processed through advanced translation systems. "I am High Commander Rex of the Dominion Fleet. Your planet has been chosen for integration into our empire. Resist, and we will be forced to take more aggressive measures." Walker maintained his composure, though inside he felt a surge of anger at the aliens' arrogance. "This is Admiral James Walker of Earth's Global Defense Command. We are a sovereign world and have no interest in being integrated into your empire. However, we are open to peaceful diplomatic relations." The alien commander made a sound that might have been laughter. "Admiral, you misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. We have conquered 47 civilizations, many more advanced than yours. You have 24 hours to surrender and begin the integration process. After that, we will take your world by force." The transmission cut off abruptly, leaving the command center in tense silence. "Get me the World Council," Walker ordered, "and activate Protocol Omega. It's time to show these aliens why Earth has remained free all these years." Within an hour, the Global Defense Summit convened in the underground facility. Military leaders from every major nation gathered around the conference table, their faces grim but determined. The room hummed with translation systems as they discussed their options. "The Dominion clearly expects us to be an easy target," General Robert Brown said, pointing to the tactical display. "Their ships are arranged in a standard invasion formation. They're not even trying to hide their intentions." "Good," said Colonel Maria Torres, her eyes gleaming. "Let them underestimate us. They don't know about the defense grid, or the quantum shields, or any of our other surprises." Walker stood at the head of the table, looking at each face in turn. "For the past 20 years, we've known this day might come. Every nation represented here has contributed to our planetary defense systems. Now it's time to use them." The strategic displays showed Earth's hidden strengths: the network of stealth satellites, the energy shield generators buried in every continent, the fleets of ships hidden in underground bases and beneath the oceans. Humanity had learned from its own history of warfare and had prepared accordingly. "First priority is civilian protection," Walker continued. "Activate the underground shelters and begin moving people to secure locations. I want our orbital defense grid powered up but hidden until the last possible moment. Let them think we're scrambling to organize a response." Around the world, the massive machinery of Earth's defense began to move. In cities across the globe, civilians headed to designated shelter areas, following evacuation plans that had been practiced for years. Military units mobilized with practiced efficiency, taking up predetermined positions. The alien fleet remained where it was, a dark threat hanging in space. Occasional scout ships moved closer to Earth, probably scanning for defenses, but the planet's advanced stealth technology kept its true capabilities hidden. "Admiral," Lieutenant White called out, "we're detecting energy buildups in several of the alien vessels. They might be preparing weapon systems." Walker smiled grimly. "Right on schedule. They're trying to intimidate us with a show of force." He turned to his communications officer. "Send a message to all Earth Defense Forces. Operation Thunderbolt is now in effect. I want everything ready before their deadline expires." As the hours ticked by, Earth's preparation continued. In secret bases around the world, pilots climbed into advanced fighters that combined human ingenuity with recovered alien technology. Scientists made final adjustments to the planetary shield system, while military strategists refined their counterattack plans. 23 hours after the initial contact, High Commander Rex appeared on Earth's communications again. This time, his tone was less confident. Their scans had detected some of the movement on Earth, but the planet's defenses remained largely invisible to their sensors. "Your time is almost up, Admiral Walker," Rex said. "We see you preparing for a fight. It will only lead to unnecessary destruction. Surrender now, and your people will be treated well under Dominion rule." Walker stood straight, his military bearing perfect. "High Commander, I should inform you of something. In Earth's history, whenever someone told us to surrender or die, we chose a third option. We fought back and won. We've had decades to prepare for this moment. If you attack Earth, I promise you this, it will be the biggest mistake the Dominion has ever made." Rex's 4 eyes narrowed. "You are either very brave or very foolish, Admiral. We will see which it is when the sun rises on Earth tomorrow." The transmission ended. In the command center, Walker turned to his staff. "Send the code to all commands. Fortress Earth is now active. Let's show these aliens why our world has never been conquered." As the deadline approached, tension mounted in command centers worldwide. The alien fleet began to move, spreading out into attack formation. They clearly expected a simple bombardment followed by an easy invasion. They had no idea that humanity had spent years preparing for this exact scenario. Walker watched the tactical displays, waiting for the perfect moment. The alien fleet was advancing exactly as their strategic AI had predicted they would. Humanity's greatest strength had always been its ability to learn from the past, to adapt, and to prepare for the future. The Dominion was about to learn this lesson the hard way. "Sir," Lieutenant White reported, "the enemy fleet has crossed the lunar orbit. They'll be in range of our outer defenses in 10 minutes. Walker nodded, feeling the weight of history on his shoulders. This would be humanity's first interstellar war, but they weren't going into it unprepared. "Send to all commands. The enemy has taken the bait. Prepare to execute Defense Plan Alpha on my mark." Around the world, military personnel tensed, ready for action. In secret bases, advanced weapon systems powered up. The planetary shield generators hummed to life, ready to protect Earth's population from the coming battle. High Commander Rex and his Dominion fleet had no idea what they were about to face. They thought they were dealing with a primitive civilization that would quickly bow to superior force. Instead, they were about to encounter humanity at its most dangerous, united, prepared, and fighting to protect its home. The first shots of the war were moments away, and Earth was ready to show the galaxy why it had remained free for so long. The real question wasn't whether humanity would survive. It was whether the Dominion would survive the lesson they were about to learn. The first alien ships entered Earth's atmosphere expecting an easy victory. Their sensors showed only basic military installations and what appeared to be primitive defense systems. High Commander Rex watched from his command ship, already thinking about how quickly Earth would fall into line with the other conquered worlds. He was wrong. The moment the first Dominion ships breached the upper atmosphere, Earth revealed its true strength. Professor Anna Miller stood in her control room deep beneath the Australian outback, her hand steady as she activated the quantum defense grid. Around the planet, Thousands of hidden satellites sparked to life, creating an energy field that no alien ship had ever encountered. Quantum Shield Network is online, she reported through the Global Command Channel. All systems are functioning at optimal levels. The aliens' first sign of trouble came when their leading ships hit the invisible barrier. Their energy weapons, designed to tear through conventional shields, splashed harmlessly against Earth's quantum field. The physics behind it were Professor Miller's life's work, a way to create a shield that didn't just block attacks, but redirected their energy into strengthening the barrier itself. In the Global Defense Command Center, Admiral Walker watched with grim satisfaction as the alien fleet's first attack failed completely. "Now they know this won't be easy," he said to his staff. "Launch counter-offensive pattern Delta." From hidden bases around the world, Earth's own ships rose to meet the invaders. These weren't the primitive vessels the Dominion expected. Each one carried technology that combined the best of human innovation with decades of careful study of alien tech. The ships were smaller than the Dominion's massive vessels, but they were faster and more agile. High Commander Rex's voice crackled through the command channel, its translator unable to hide his shock. "Impossible. Your world is classified as a pre-space civilization. These defenses, these ships, they should not exist." "You should have done better research," Walker replied calmly. "Humanity has a long history of preparing for fights we see coming. We've been ready for you for years." The battle in Earth's orbit turned into chaos as the Dominion fleet tried to adapt to fighting an enemy that wasn't following any of their standard military doctrines. Earth's ships moved in patterns that made no sense to the aliens' tactical computers, using maneuvers developed by pilots who had studied everything from old World War II dogfights to modern space combat theories. Professor Miller's team continued monitoring the quantum shield network from their underground facility. "The aliens are trying to analyze the shield's frequency," she reported. "But they don't understand. It doesn't have one. The quantum field adapts faster than they can scan it." In space, Earth's defenders pressed their advantage. Smaller fighter craft darted between the massive alien ships, their weapons precisely targeting weak points that Earth scientists had identified years ago. The Dominion's rigid battle formations, so effective against other alien races, left them vulnerable to humanity's more flexible tactics. "They're falling back to regroup," Lieutenant White announced from his station. "Their front line has taken heavy damage." Walker nodded. "Just as planned. Execute Phase 2. Let's show them why attacking Earth was a mistake." Around the planet, massive ground-based weapon systems emerged from their hiding places. These were humanity's trump cards, devices that could control local weather patterns for tactical advantage. Storm clouds formed over key battle areas, creating conditions that played havoc with the alien sensors while Earth's forces, prepared for these conditions, fought on. In his command ship, High Commander Rex watched in growing anger as his fleet's casualties mounted. "How is this possible?" he demanded. "Their technology should be centuries behind ours." "That's where you made your mistake," Walker responded over the command channel. "You thought technology alone wins wars. Humanity learned long ago that it's not just about having the best weapons. It's about how you use them." The battle continued for hours. Every time the Dominion adapted to one of Earth's tactics, the defenders switched to another. When the aliens finally managed to analyze one type of defense, they found themselves facing something completely different. It was warfare unlike anything they had encountered in their conquests of other worlds. Professor Miller's quantum shield continued to hold, growing stronger with each attack the aliens launched against it. Her team had spent years perfecting the system, using principles of quantum mechanics that the Dominion scientists hadn't even considered. "They're still trying to break through using conventional methods," she reported. "They don't understand that the more energy they use, the stronger our defenses become." In orbit, Earth's ships demonstrated the full range of human military thinking. Some vessels played dead, only to attack when enemy ships passed nearby. Others used the planet's magnetic field to mask their approach. Each tactic came from centuries of human warfare, adapted for space combat. "Sir," Lieutenant White called out, "the enemy fleet is pulling back beyond the moon's orbit. Their formation is scattered. I think we've won this round." Walker shook his head. "No, they're not done yet. This was just their first attack. They were testing our defenses. But we've shown them something important. Earth isn't the easy target they thought we were." The Admiral was right. The Dominion fleet regrouped at a safe distance, but their initial confidence was shattered. They had expected to face a primitive civilization with basic weapons. Instead, they found themselves fighting an enemy that had spent years preparing for this exact battle. Professor Miller's voice came through the command channel again. "Admiral, the quantum shield is holding at full strength. The alien attacks actually improved its stability. We can keep this up indefinitely." Around the world, Earth's defenders used the brief respite to regroup and repair. The casualties have been minimal, thanks to the effectiveness of the quantum shield and the precision of their counterattacks. More importantly, they had proven that humanity could stand against even the most advanced alien fleet. In the command center, Walker studied the tactical displays showing the retreating alien ships. "Send a message to all Earth forces," he ordered. "Well done, but stay alert. The real battle is still coming. The Dominion won't give up easily. They've never failed to conquer a world before." The message went out to all the defensive positions around the globe. In bunkers and bases, troops and pilots readied themselves for the next round. They had surprised the aliens with their level of preparation and technology, but everyone knew this was just the beginning. High Commander Rex's voice came through one final time before his fleet pulled back. "This changes nothing, Admiral Walker. You've won this skirmish, but the Dominion has never failed to conquer a target world. We will return, and next time we will not underestimate you." Walker's response was calm but firm. "Next time, you'll find us even better prepared. Every attack you launch teaches us more about how you fight. Remember that when you're planning your next move." As the alien fleet retreated to a safe distance, Earth's defenders remained vigilant. The first battle had been won, but the war was far from over. Still, they had achieved something important. They had shown the Dominion, and any other alien race watching, that Earth was not to be taken lightly. Professor Miller and her team continued monitoring the quantum shield network, ready for the next attack. The technology they had developed might have surprised the aliens, but it was just one example of how humanity had prepared for this day. There were many more surprises waiting for anyone who thought Earth would be an easy conquest. The time for defense was over. Captain Mark Thompson stood in the cockpit of his stealth ship, hidden in the shadow of the moon. Around him, 50 of Earth's best pilots waited in their own vessels, all of them invisible to the Dominion sensors. They were about to show the aliens that humans didn't just defend, they struck back. "All ships report ready," his second-in-command whispered through the secure channel. Even though the aliens couldn't hear them, the whole crew kept their voices low. Years of stealth training had taught them that silence was a habit worth keeping. "Begin Operation Shadow Strike," Thompson ordered. "Remember your training. These aliens fight like machines, predictable, organized, and slow to adapt. We fight like humans, creative, unpredictable, and ready for anything." The stealth fleet moved forward, using the moon's natural radiation to mask their approach. The Dominion fleet had pulled back to regroup after their failed first attack, their ships arranged in perfect military formation. They never saw Earth's counterattack coming. Thompson's ship led the charge, its new engines running silent. Earth's scientists had studied alien technology for years, but instead of copying it, they had found ways to improve it. His ship didn't just avoid detection, it actively absorbed enemy scan waves, making it appear like empty space. "Target their command ships first," Thompson transmitted to his fleet. "Break their chain of command. Make them fight blind." The first alien ship exploded before it could raise its shields. 3 more followed in quick succession as Earth's stealth fleet struck from multiple directions. The Dominion's perfect formation turned into a liability. Their ships were so precisely spaced that they couldn't maneuver without risking collisions. High Commander Rex's voice boomed across all channels, filled with rage. "Find them. How are they hiding from our sensors? This is impossible." Thompson allowed himself a small smile. The aliens still didn't understand what they were fighting against. On Earth, warfare had evolved over thousands of years. Every trick, every strategy they were using had been tested in countless human conflicts and refined for space combat. "Second wave, begin your attack runs," he ordered. The stealth ships darted between the massive alien vessels, their small size making them hard targets even when spotted. They targeted engines, weapons, and communication arrays, not trying to destroy the ships outright, but disable them. Back on Earth, Admiral Walker watched the battle through special quantum-linked displays that could track the stealth fleet. "They're realizing too late why we're called a Death World species," he said to his staff. "We evolved on a planet that tried to kill us every day. We learned to fight before we learned to farm." The battle in space turned into chaos, exactly what the humans had planned for. While the Dominion fleet tried to maintain their rigid military structure, Earth's ships fought like guerrilla warriors. They appeared from nowhere, struck hard, and vanished again before the aliens could respond. "Sir," one of Thompson's pilots called out, "they're trying to adapt. Some ships are breaking formation, attempting to create a defensive screen." "Too late," Thompson replied. "Execute pattern Delta 9. The stealth fleet split into smaller groups, each one targeting a different section of the alien fleet. They had practiced these maneuvers countless times, preparing for this moment. Every pilot knew exactly what to do, how to think independently while still working as part of the larger strategy. In his command ship, High Commander Rex was learning a harsh lesson about human warfare. His tactical officers reported growing confusion in the fleet. Ships were firing at shadows, destroying their own sensors with too many scan pulses, breaking formation in panic. "This is not how war is fought." Rex raged. "They hide like cowards. They refuse to meet us in proper combat." Walker's voice came back calm and clear. "We fight to win, Commander. Your idea of proper combat is just another weakness we can exploit." The battle continued for hours. The stealth fleet never stayed in one place long enough to be targeted effectively. They struck from different angles, used different tactics, never falling into a pattern the aliens could predict. When the Dominion ships tried to retreat, they found their engines damaged. When they tried to call for help, their communication systems failed. Thompson coordinated the attacks from his command ship, watching as the mighty Dominion fleet fell into disarray. "Begin final phase," he ordered. "Show them what happens when they threaten our home." The stealth fleet launched their last attack run, this time targeting the flagship itself. High Commander Rex watched in disbelief as his ship's systems failed one by one, disabled by weapons he couldn't even detect. "This is impossible," Rex transmitted, his voice no longer confident. "We are the Dominion. We have conquered 47 worlds. We cannot be defeated by primitives." "You made a basic mistake," Thompson replied, finally breaking his radio silence. "You thought technology alone makes a civilization advanced. But we've spent our whole history learning to fight smarter, not just with better weapons." The battle ended not with a surrender, but with the Dominion fleet in ruins. Nearly half their ships were disabled, their perfect formation shattered. The rest were scattered, their coordination broken, their confidence shaken. "Return to base," Thompson ordered his fleet. "Let them think about what just happened. Let them wonder what else we can do." As the stealth ships vanished back toward Earth, they left behind a broken alien fleet. The mighty Dominion, which had never known defeat, had just learned why Earth was different from their other conquests. This wasn't just a defeat, it was a message. Walker's voice came through to all Earth forces. "Well done, everyone. But stay alert. They'll be back, and next time they'll be angry." That makes them predictable, and predictable enemies are exactly what we're best at fighting. Thompson looked back at the scattered alien ships as his fleet headed home. The Dominion had come expecting to find an easy target. Instead, they found out why Earth had survived every threat it had ever faced. Humanity didn't just fight. They adapted, improvised, and overcame. The stealth fleet's victory marked a turning point in the war. The Dominion would return, but now they knew that attacking Earth meant facing an enemy unlike any they had encountered before. An enemy that didn't follow the rules of war they understood, that fought with cunning and creativity instead of just brute force. As his ship approached Earth, Thompson could see the quantum shield shimmer in the atmosphere, protecting his home. They had won this battle, and they would win the next one too. Because that's what humans did. They fought, they learned, and they never, ever gave up. The Dominion generals gathered in their command center, trying to understand how their invasion had gone so wrong. Their tactical displays showed the devastation from Earth's surprise attack, but more worrying were the new data readings about the planet itself. "This cannot be right," one of the alien officers said, his 4 eyes blinking rapidly as he studied the reports. According to these scans, the humans have adapted to fight in every environment on their planet. They have warriors trained for Arctic ice, burning deserts, deep oceans, and high mountains. High Commander Rex stared at the information with growing concern. "Check their historical records. I want to know everything about how they fight." What they found shocked them. Humans had spent their entire history fighting, not just against each other, but against their planet itself. They had learned to survive in conditions that would kill most species. Earth wasn't just another world to conquer. It was what other alien species called a death world, a planet that created warriors by its very nature. Meanwhile, in the underground command center, Admiral Walker activated humanity's next surprise. "Begin Operation Mindstorm," he ordered. "Let's show them what human eye can do." The AI battle coordination system came online, its quantum processors analyzing every piece of data from the ongoing conflict. Unlike the rigid, predictable computer systems the Dominion used, Earth's AI had been designed to think creatively, to learn and adapt just like its human creators. "AI reports ready," Lieutenant White announced. "All defense systems are now operating under enhanced coordination protocols." The effect was immediate. Every weapon, every shield, every defensive system on Earth began working together in perfect harmony. The AI didn't just react to threats. It predicted them, analyzing patterns so complex that even the aliens' advanced computers couldn't keep up. In Australia, Professor Miller worked with the AI to enhance the quantum shield network. "The aliens still don't understand what they're facing," she said to her team. "They think of us as primitives, but we've been preparing for this kind of fight since we first looked up at the stars." The Dominion launched their next attack with what they thought was overwhelming force. Their ships came in fast, using new tactics they believed would counter Earth's defenses. They were wrong again. Earth's eye-controlled defense grid responded instantly. Weapon systems fired before the alien ships could get into position. Shield frequencies changed faster than the enemy could adjust their weapons. Every counterattack was met with a defense that seemed to know what was coming. "Impossible," High Commander Rex shouted as another attack failed. "Their technology should not be this advanced. Their AI should not be this sophisticated." Walker's response was calm and clear. "We learned long ago not to fight the way our enemies expect. Every piece of technology we have, every strategy we use, was developed with one goal: protecting our home." The battle raged across Earth's orbit, but this time the aliens couldn't even get close to the atmosphere. The AI predicted their movements, coordinated Earth's defenses, and turned every Dominion tactic against them. It was like fighting an enemy that could see the future. In their command ship, the Dominion generals watched in growing horror as their forces were systematically outmaneuvered and defeated. Their tactical computers, designed to fight conventional wars against conventional enemies, couldn't understand or counter human battle strategies. "Our reports were wrong," one general admitted. "These humans, they don't think like any species we've encountered. They turned everything into a weapon. Even their planet's harsh environments have made them stronger instead of killing them. The AI system continued to learn and adapt. Every failed alien attack provided more data, making Earth's defenses even stronger. The Dominion found themselves fighting an enemy that seemed to have an answer for everything they tried. Walker watched from the command center as Earth's defenses proved their worth. "Send word to all commands," he ordered. "Prepare for ground defense, just in case they get desperate enough to try a landing." Around the world, Earth's ground forces moved into position. These weren't just soldiers. They were warriors trained to fight in every environment their world could throw at them. Desert units that could survive the hottest days and coldest nights. Mountain troops who could fight in the thinnest air. Marine forces that could battle in the deepest oceans. The Dominion scans showed them this preparation, and for the first time, real fear began to spread through their fleet. They had conquered other worlds by finding and exploiting weaknesses. But these humans, they had turned their world's harshness into strength. Every environmental challenge had just made them more dangerous. "Sir," Lieutenant White reported, "the enemy fleet is pulling back again. The AI predicts they're going to try something desperate." Walker nodded. "They're learning what happens when you corner a species that evolved on a death world. We don't know how to give up. We never learned how." The Dominion fleet retreated to a safe distance, but their scanners kept studying Earth. They watched humans working in the burning deserts of Africa, training in the frozen wastes of Antarctica, diving in the deepest parts of the Pacific. Everything they learned just proved how badly they had underestimated this species. "Send a message to High Command," Rex ordered his communications officer. "Earth is not what we thought. These humans, they've turned their entire planet into a fortress. Every environment that should kill them has just made them more powerful." In the Earth Command Center, the AI continued its work, coordinating defenses, analyzing threats, preparing for whatever would come next. It was humanity's creation, designed to think like its creators. Unpredictable, adaptive, and absolutely determined to protect its home. "They're finally starting to understand," Walker said to his staff. "Earth isn't just another planet to conquer. It's a world that forged its people in fire and steel, that taught them to survive anything, to fight against any odds. And now the Dominion has to face the species that world created." The fourth day of the invasion was ending, and Earth stood undefeated. The Dominion had thrown everything they had at the planet, only to learn that humans had spent their entire history preparing for exactly this kind of fight. Not just with technology or weapons, but with the strength that came from evolving on a world that never made anything easy. The real question now wasn't whether Earth would survive. It was whether the Dominion would survive learning why Earth had never been conquered before. High Commander Rex faced the hardest moment of his military career. Standing on the bridge of his flagship, he watched the casualty reports scroll across his screens. The Dominion fleet, once proud and undefeated, had lost nearly a third of its ships. Another third were damaged or disabled. The mighty empire that had conquered 47 worlds was being beaten by a single planet. "Report from the survey teams," his tactical officer announced, voice shaking. "The humans are expanding their quantum shield. It's not just covering Earth anymore. They're creating a defensive barrier across their entire solar system." In her underground laboratory, Professor Miller directed the expansion of Earth's defense network. The quantum shield satellites were multiplying, using advanced manufacturing systems to create copies of themselves. Each new satellite strengthened the shield, making it harder for the aliens to even approach Earth. "Shield expansion at 40%, she reported to Admiral Walker. "At this rate, we'll have the entire inner solar system protected within days." Walker nodded, studying the tactical displays in the command center. The AI system had predicted this would be the breaking point, the moment when the Dominion realized they weren't just losing a battle, they were losing the war. "Their fleet is in chaos," Lieutenant White reported. "Ships are starting to break formation. Some are attempting to retreat beyond Mars orbit." The Dominion's mighty empire had never faced anything like this. Their whole military doctrine was based on overwhelming force and superior technology. But against Earth, these advantages meant nothing. The humans had spent decades preparing not just weapons, but new ways to fight. "Launch the gravity weapons," Walker ordered. It was time to show the aliens Earth's final defensive capability. Professor Miller's team activated their newest creation. Devices planted throughout the solar system began to pulse, creating controlled gravity wells that pulled at the alien ships. The Dominion fleet, already scattered and damaged, found themselves being dragged off course by forces they couldn't understand or resist. "Impossible," Rex shouted as his flagship fought against the artificial gravity fields. "Their technology cannot be this advanced. They were supposed to be primitives." The gravity weapons were Professor Miller's masterpiece. Based on decades of research, they didn't just create gravity. They controlled it, shaped it, used it as both weapon and shield. Alien ships found themselves pulled apart by gravitational forces, their engines useless against the fundamental forces of space itself. "This is your final warning," Walker transmitted to the Dominion fleet. "Earth is not your conquest. We are not your subjects. Leave our solar system, or we will be forced to demonstrate even more of our capabilities." In the Dominion flagship, Rex watched his mighty fleet falling apart. Ships were either retreating in panic or being torn apart by Earth's gravity weapons. His tactical officers had no solutions, no strategies to counter an enemy that controlled the very forces of nature. "How?" he demanded of his science team. "How did they develop these weapons? How did they hide their true strength from our surveys?" The answer was simple, though the aliens struggled to understand it. Humans had never stopped preparing, never stopped innovating. They had taken their understanding of physics beyond what the Dominion thought possible, creating weapons that didn't just fight against enemy ships. They fought against reality itself. Professor Miller's voice came through the command channel, calm and professional. "The gravity weapon systems are performing beyond expectations. Enemy fleet cohesion is breaking down completely." Around the solar system, the Dominion fleet was in full retreat. Ships disappeared into faster-than-light travel wherever they could, fleeing from forces they couldn't fight. Those caught in the gravity wells were either pulled apart or forced to surrender. "Send to all Earth forces," Walker ordered. "Operation Stellar Shield is now in effect. Full defensive coverage of the solar system is our priority." The quantum shield continued to expand, creating a barrier that would make the entire solar system impenetrable to future attacks. Earth's AI system coordinated the effort, ensuring no gaps, no weaknesses that could be exploited. High Commander Rex faced the most difficult decision of his life. His fleet was defeated, his invasion repelled, his empire's reputation shattered. The humans hadn't just beaten them. They had shown the galaxy that the Dominion wasn't invincible. "Prepare a general retreat," he ordered, his voice heavy with defeat. "All ships capable of faster-than-light travel are to withdraw immediately." But the humans weren't finished. As the Dominion fleet tried to retreat, Earth's gravity weapons continued their work. More ships were caught, more crews forced to surrender. The humans showed mercy to those who gave up, but no quarter to those who continued to fight. "They're running," Lieutenant White announced, unable to keep the pride from his voice. "The mighty Dominion is running from Earth." Walker watched the tactical display as enemy ships vanished one by one. They finally understand what they're dealing with. Earth isn't just another planet. We're the species that turned survival into an art form, that made preparation into a way of life. Professor Miller's quantum shield reached 60% coverage of the solar system. The gravity weapons continued to pick off stragglers from the retreating fleet. Earth's AI system calculated that the Dominion had lost more ships in this failed invasion than in all their previous conquests combined. "Send a message to their high command," Walker ordered. "Tell them that Earth is now a protected system. Any future incursions will be met with immediate and overwhelming force." The remaining Dominion ships fled into deep space, leaving behind their damaged and captured vessels. High Commander Rex sent one final transmission before his flagship disappeared. "You have done the impossible," his voice crackled through the command channel. "No species has ever defeated the Dominion. Remember this victory, humans. The galaxy will remember it too." The battle was over. Earth had faced its first interstellar war and emerged not just victorious, but stronger. The quantum shield would protect them from future threats. The gravity weapons had proven that humanity's understanding of physics had surpassed their would-be conquerors. "Begin recovery operations," Walker ordered. "Let's study every piece of alien technology we can salvage. Next time anyone threatens Earth, we'll be even better prepared." Around the world, humans emerged from their shelters to look up at a sky that had changed forever. They had proven something not just to the Dominion, but to themselves. Earth wasn't weak. Earth wasn't primitive. Earth was a fortress world, defended by a species that had turned adversity into strength. The mighty Dominion fleet had come to conquer. They left in ruins, having learned a lesson they would never forget. Earth was untouchable, protected by the most dangerous species in the known galaxy, humanity itself. 3 days after the Dominion fleet retreated, Admiral Walker stood in the Global Defense Command Center, watching the new defense grid take shape. The quantum shield now covered most of the solar system, a shimmering barrier visible only to their most advanced sensors. Earth had changed forever, and so had humanity's place in the galaxy. "Message incoming from the Galactic Council," Lieutenant White announced. "They're requesting to open diplomatic channels." The existence of the Galactic Council hadn't surprised Earth's leaders. They had suspected there were more advanced civilizations out there, watching and waiting. The Dominion's defeat had forced them to finally make contact. "Put them through," Walker ordered. The main screen lit up with images of various alien species, some humanoid, others completely foreign to human eyes. These were the real powers in the galaxy, the ones who had watched Earth's battle from afar. "People of Earth," the lead counselor spoke, its translator converting alien sounds into clear English. "We have observed your defense of your world. Never in recorded history has the Dominion fleet been defeated. You have accomplished the impossible." Walker stood straight, his uniform crisp and clean despite the days of battle. "Earth did what it has always done. We survived. We adapted. We overcame." The aliens took turns speaking, each one expressing amazement at Earth's achievements. The quantum shield technology, the gravity weapons, the AI battle systems, all of them far beyond what they had believed possible for a young species. "We must know," one counselor asked, "how did you develop these technologies in secret? Our surveys showed your world as barely space-capable." Professor Miller stepped forward to answer. She had been called to the command center for this meeting. "We saw them watching us," she explained. "Every alien probe, every distant scan. We learned to hide our true capabilities. We knew that someday someone would try to conquer Earth. So we prepared." The council members discussed among themselves in their alien languages. Finally, the lead counselor spoke again. "Earth will be reclassified immediately. You are no longer considered a developing world. Your system will be marked as a protected space. Your species recognized as an advanced civilization." But Walker wasn't finished. "We have terms of our own," he said. "Earth will establish a permanent warning system at the edge of our solar system. Any ship entering our space without permission will be considered hostile." The warning beacons were already under construction, massive stations that would broadcast Earth's message in every known language. "This system is protected. Approach with peaceful intentions only. All others will face the consequences." Additionally, Walker continued, "We want access to the Galactic Council's databases. Earth is ready to join the galactic community, but as equals, not as subordinates." The Council agreed quickly, too quickly, perhaps. They had seen what happened to those who underestimated Earth. The human capacity for innovation, for turning defensive technology into weapons when needed, had shocked them all. Around the solar system, Earth's new defenses continued to grow stronger. The quantum shield was nearly complete, an impenetrable barrier powered by the very forces that tried to break it. The gravity weapons stood ready, silent guardians that could tear apart any hostile fleet. Professor Miller's team had already begun studying the captured Dominion ships. Their technology isn't actually superior to ours, she reported to the command staff. It's just different. They never thought to use quantum mechanics the way we did, never considered gravity could be controlled so precisely. The Galactic Council provided even more information. Earth learned that they weren't the only Death World species out there, but they were the only ones who had turned their harsh evolution into such an effective defense. Other species had simply tried to escape their dangerous homeworlds. Humans had embraced the challenge, learned from it, grown stronger because of it. The Dominion has begun withdrawing from their conquered worlds, Lieutenant White reported, reading the latest intelligence. Our victory showed others that they're not invincible. Revolutions are breaking out across their empire. Walker nodded. Earth's defense had done more than protect one planet. It had changed the balance of power in the galaxy. The myth of Dominion invincibility was shattered, and with it, their ability to rule through fear. Send word to all Earth commands, he ordered. Maintain full alert status. Just because we've won this battle doesn't mean there won't be others. The warning beacons activated, their message clear and strong. Earth wasn't just declaring itself off-limits to invasion. It was announcing its presence to the galaxy. Here was a world that had faced the strongest military force known and emerged victorious. The Galactic Council members watched as their databases were updated. Earth's classification changed from developing world, potential conquest target, to advanced civilization. Approach with caution. Some members suggested an even stronger warning. Protected system. Military action prohibited. Professor Miller's quantum shield reached full coverage, encompassing the entire solar system. The AI system integrated with the new defenses, creating a protective network more advanced than anything the galaxy had seen before. Earth wasn't just safe, it was untouchable. The Dominion fleet has crossed the galactic arm, Lieutenant White reported. They're spreading the word to other species. Earth is not to be challenged. Walker looked at the tactical display one last time. The dots representing alien ships were all green now. Diplomatic vessels, trade missions, peaceful visitors. The red dots of hostile forces had vanished, and if Earth had anything to say about it, they would never return. Humanity has changed, he said to his staff. We're not just Earth's defenders anymore. We're its representatives to the galaxy. Let's show them that we can be peaceful neighbors as well as dangerous enemies. The warning beacons continued their endless broadcast, a message to any who might think of threatening Earth. This world has never been conquered. This species has never surrendered. This system is protected by those who turn survival into an art form. Approach with peaceful intentions only. Earth stands undefeated. And in the vast darkness of space, other civilizations listened to that warning and remembered the fate of the mighty Dominion fleet. They remembered how a single world had stood against an empire and won. They remembered, and they learned to respect the species that had turned their deadly homeworld into an impregnable fortress. Earth was open to peaceful contact, ready to join the galactic community, but it would never again be seen as an easy target. The warning beacons made sure of that, their message clear and eternal. Earth remains free, protected by the most dangerous species in the known galaxy, humanity itself.